All right. Looks like I'm live, I think. Let's see. You guys hear me? Can you hear me? And can you see me? What's up, YouTube? Is it working? Is it working? Hello. Mario De Leon. How's it going, man? Simon Hansman. Good afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world. Kais Arshil. Hello. Zamurak. 15,395. Indeed we can, he says. Captain Dickman. Hey, mate. Captain Dickman. Is that your real name? It's a lovely name if it is. If it's not, it's quite funny. All right. Apparently the sound in the video is good. Lots of comments already. What's up, everybody? It's been a while since I've done one of these, huh? It's been a few weeks, hasn't it? Scott can't join us. He's got a 1:30 call. Good luck with the call, Scott. Shout out to Scott wherever he is in the world. Dickman is, but I'm not a captain. Dang. Well, you're the captain of your ship, Captain Dickman. Right on. Jerry Albano, hello from NYC. How's it going? Hey, how's it going? Everything great from Southern California. Nice. Where in Southern California, Janet? I'm well familiar with the area. Shout out from IE, meaning Inland Empire. Did you not know that I would know that? Right? Inland Empire or somewhere else? Greetings from Germany. Hey, Simon Hansman. What's up, man? Billy's ready to learn. Slushy. Oceanport, New Jersey. LA? Okay. Yeah, I didn't spend that much time in LA, Janet. San Diego, though. Hey, what do you think about if it fits your keto? Okay, Sarabin, it's an interesting question. If it fits your keto. So I guess I'm going to infer what you're saying. What you're asking me is, what do I think about a ketogenic diet, eating whatever the heck you want as long as it fits your macros? I don't know how to answer that properly. I mean, obviously nutrient density matters, man. Food quality matters. If that's as close to a healthy diet as you can get, if it fits your keto, meaning I guess like, you go get McDonald's, you take the bun off the Big Mac, you hope there's no high fructose corn syrup in the meat patties. You hope there's no human flesh in the meat patties as well. I don't know. If it works for you, it works for you. I won't judge you on it, but nutrient density matters. Quality food matters. Organic food matters. I mean, if we're, I know not everybody can support organic. Not everybody can afford organic. Not everybody can afford the highest quality nutrient dense foods. But I think a lot of people make a lot of excuses. When we first started getting into health and looking at diet as a way to optimize brain chemistry, as a way to feel better and perform better in our daily life, Jessica and I lived in a crappy little house that was basically had like cardboard walls. This thing was it used to be a storage container, and it was converted into a house. It was like a hallway with a tiny little sink and a tiny kitchen with a tabletop electric stove and this like toaster oven type thing and a fridge that was this big. And we were still buying organic foods. So that shows you how important we think nutrient density and quality foods are. So yeah, if it fits your macros, if it fits your mouth, if it fits your microwave, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of processed foods. Sorry, this is not what this channel is about. We're about supporting sustainable restorative agriculture, about supporting organic agriculture, about supporting intelligent land use where you're not spraying everything with industrial chemicals and pesticides and chelating the soil and thus chelating your microbiome. I mean, and not only do these things destroy our microbiome in our body, they destroy our external microbiome that creates the foods we eat. I mean, you're destroying the microbiome of the soil. And this is where life comes from. This is where our food grows. And if you chelate that soil with glyphosate, if you pull out the manganese in it, If you put carcinogenic chemicals like glyphosate in it, you are throwing off the balance of something far bigger than just the scale that you step on when you're losing weight. So that's what I'll say about it. If it fits your macros, if it fits your mouth, if it fits your microwave. There are so many questions. There's a lot of people watching. Wow. There's more people watching now than there normally are. Maybe Tuesday's a good day, or maybe it's the timing. Maybe people are on their lunch breaks. Toronto, Canada, what's up? Rafael Silva. That's right, Riverside, says Rico the Wolf. Rico, I lived in Riverside for quite some time, my friend. I used to live in Orange Crest in Riverside. I went to maybe I told you this before, but I went to Martin Luther King Jr. High School for 1 year. And then I got out of Riverside, lived in Carlsbad after that. Ohio, man, we got people from all over. What's up from Sac? Steve Wong, hope you're staying dry and up in Sac. What's up with that Oroville Dam? Is that thing still threatening to break further? There's some gnarly footage of that spillway breaking open. Looked like a giant sluice. Newfoundland, Canada. So many people here. All right. What do you think about the steak and eggs or meat and eggs diet? I didn't know that was an official diet, but that's actually what there's one of these bodybuilder guys back in the day, like Vince Gironda. I think I could be completely wrong, but I believe Vince Gironda was all about the steak and eggs. Hey, if it works for you, it works for you. There is no need for exogenous carbohydrates. Your body can create the glucose it needs via gluconeogenesis, which is not your enemy. Gluconeogenesis is not your enemy. You wouldn't be alive if it weren't for gluconeogenesis. If you couldn't create glucose fatty acids as you can from protein, every bite of protein you take that you don't need, every bite of extra protein that these gurus are going to get you to freak out about without even defining what extra protein is. You don't even define your parameters. You just get people to think, oh, it's all extra, extra, extra. It's not going to all turn into chocolate cake in your belly. That's not how it works. You can open any textbook. All the research that has ever been done on gluconeogenesis, which is necessary for human life and which we wouldn't survive without, maybe I'll get into that in a minute, shows that it is not a supply-driven process. It's a demand-driven process. And only like 4% of the amino acids are even convertible into glucose. Now, that number could be incorrect. I'm sure somebody in the comments below will straw man that and tell me I'm incorrect. That could be wrong. But I believe only about 3 or 4% of the amino acids in protein can be converted into glucose. They are glucogenic amino acids. So, steak and eggs diet. How did I get in gluconeogenesis from that? Steak and eggs diet. If it works for you, it works for you. Enjoy it. Sometimes I eat like that. I mean, I'll go days without any vegetables sometimes. I really like avocado. That's one of kind of my main sources of fiber most of the time. But, I go through long periods of time sometimes out of sheer convenience where I'll just fry up a few eggs, have some sardines, or have some slow-cooked meat with it with some fats, and that'll be my meal. But if you got a significant amount of weight to lose, a steak and egg diet, hey, that might work. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying you're going to get all the nutrients you need. There's so many fat-soluble vitamins that that we should be getting from our diet that we're not going to get from just lean muscle meats or from muscle meat in general. Fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin K2, vitamin D, really good sources of vitamin A as well. Real good sources of these would be foods like liver. So including organ meats. If you're just going to eat a zero-carb diet, you got to go for the organ meats. Talk to Andrew Scarborough. I've interviewed him a couple times. You might even be watching now. Shout out to Andrew. Very knowledgeable on the implementation of zero-carbohydrate diets as he's been using them effectively, or using it. I don't know. I mean, there's no like parameters that are defined on what a zero-carb diet is. Excuse me, I just ate, so got a little digestion going on here. But yeah, Andrew Scarborough has been doing that for a long time, very successfully. And okay. And yeah, you got to eat organ meats. You got to eat a variety of these foods, or you're going to get bored and you're just going to bounce right back. So steak and eggs diet, hey, it might work as a crash course diet for a lot of people for a little bit, but shake it up a bit. Use some organ meats. Use some of the recipes from Jessica's cookbook, the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, a training manual. See, I still always have to think about this so I get in the right order. It's a training manual for low-carb, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. And there's an entire section on how to use organ meats. They even tell you why you should use organ meats in that section as well. But I think liver is an amazing food. If you're just going to eat meat, at least treat yourself to some liver. It's delicious. It's so good. It's so nutrient dense. And I mean, look into some of the research of like Weston A. Price. The Weston A. Price Foundation has some good information out there. I'm not saying that everything they say is correct, but they have some good stuff out there. So you can learn about those fat soluble vitamins there, and definitely check out the cookbook. I'm always talking about it because it's absolutely incredible. We've printed out a copy and we've got it here in our kitchen. We still reference it all the time. You know, I mean, almost all my clients are using recipes from it. It's an amazing resource. My wife worked really hard on it, and she is a master chef in the kitchen there. She is a master keto chef, and it basically trains you on all the basics on how to become a keto master chef yourself. Andre is asking the best place to find MCT oil. I don't know. My favorite place is my kitchen. Just kidding, like a smart ass. I don't know, man. I don't know the best source. Get a coconut-based one. Get one that's not based on palm oil. They'll tell you that red palm oil is sustainable. It's not true. Red palm oil is not sustainable. Don't use it. Don't support it. It's delicious. I know. But it's no good for the environment. If you want to support the clear cutting of the Amazon rainforest, then that red palm oil is it is doing that. So just because somebody does fancy marketing and tells you it's sustainable and they source it this and that, and it's flown in on a unicorn, and the blue whales swim it across the ocean, and it gets blessed by a yogi who pees his sacred urine on it and says namaste 50 times, so it's all good for the environment. It's not true. Red palm oil is completely destructive. So get coconut-based MCT oil. And thank you for the question, Andre. Amazon.com, says Sean. That's true. Amazon's pretty easy. Man, is Amazon taking over the world, right? Running those data centers for the CIA. Amazon. Naughty Amazon. All right, Simon says, do carbs retain water? I cycled off keto after 3 months. I gained 6 kg in 1 day of healthy carb eating, rice, fruits, etc. It looked really puffy and everything. So got a clue what went on there. Simon, great question, my friend. He says, really need your help there. All capitals. Simon's freaking out. He gained 6 kilos. Yeah, dude, you didn't gain 6 kilos of fat overnight. Congratulations. You gained some water weight and some extra bloat because your body hasn't had those carbohydrates for a long time. Now, the reason that your body bloated up so much, I don't know. I could throw some conjecture out there. I should pull some semi-scientific, pseudo-scientific theories out of my bum. And I would say that might just be because you haven't had them in so long. We're used to feast-famine cycles when it comes to carbohydrates. We're not used to having carbohydrates year-round unless they were stored. And even if they were stored, they would be treated like specialties. They would only be used selectively. So, yeah, you probably stored it because your body is just saying, all right, this is the last time I'm going to get carbs in a while. Let's puff up. You might have thought it was the beginning of a big spring season. And in those seasons, when the carbohydrates burst out of the ground, when the high photonic energy from the sun, when those UV rays are strong, when the light cycle's long, those sugary foods, fruit, plants flower, and they create this beautiful carbohydrate-rich food for us that we then have refined and processed and made it available year-round and turned it into straight-up junk that was addictive. We're meant to eat carbohydrates, but within context, within season, within long light cycles. So maybe your body was thinking, hey, it's the beginning of the feast. I've been in a famine of carbohydrate for a while. It's time to put on some weight. Carbohydrates are a great way to gain weight. Not saying that they're bad. Nothing wrong with carbs. And there's nothing wrong with being able to gain weight. We should be able to lose and gain weight throughout the year and lose and gain water weight also. So keep experimenting with your body. Maybe just don't go so heavy on the carbs. You cycled off keto after 3 months. Just ease into the carbs. You don't need as many as you thought. You know, you don't need that much rice, fruit, etc. Chill out on it a little bit. Ease into it and enjoy. There's a lot of people commenting. Thanks for joining us, everybody. If you're here for the first time and you're not sure where I'm reading the comments and the questions from, on the right-hand side of the YouTubes, you will see a window that allows you to comment and questions. Keep the comments kind and nice or you will get banned. Don't insult the other people in the comment section. Play nicely, and all will go well. You won't get muted or banned. And if you get banned, you don't even know you're banned. You just keep typing and nobody sees your messages. Kind of funny, right? The reality of the internet troll. Typing away, rage typing, but nobody sees your messages. Mom, meatloaf! All right, let's see. Fatima Slater. I'm having a hard time getting into ketosis. Should I eat 200 grams of fat? I've been trying for 3 months, and I took my blood ketones, and it's 0.3. All right, Fatima Slater. You're having a hard time getting into ketosis. Yeah, I mean, there's many things that could be going on there. I'd have to look at everything you're doing. Should you eat 200 grams of fat? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It depends on if that's maintenance calories for you. If you need that much fat, sure. But not everybody needs it, and very few people need that much fat. How are you feeling? Do you have mental clarity? Do you enjoy the foods you're eating? Do you feel stressed out from the diet? If so, if you do feel stressed out, maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's just not working out. But if you feel great and your ketones are just 0.3, maybe it's the time that you're measuring it. You could be measuring it the wrong time. You could be hyper-focusing on blood ketones when you should be focusing on dropping body fat. So, I don't know. It's all about context. Ketones don't equal results. Sorry to say, ketones do not equal results. Ketones equals effective marketing strategies and effective ways at selling lots of blood ketone strips, though. All right. What are your thoughts on the master cleanse or other extended periods of fasting? Which one's the master cleanse? Is that the one where you eat like bentonite, clay, and psyllium? There's this fad, right? There's this like real annoying fad going through the fitness industry of like, detox is fake, bro. Like, detox is totally fake. Like, there's this study that showed that these detox products don't work, so all detox is fake. There's a lot of things that can improve detoxification in the body. There are things that can bind up to heavy metals. Clays are a classic example. Activated charcoal will help detoxify the body. Will bind up toxins. Will bind up mycotoxins. Will bind up heavy metals and transport it out of the body. Detox is real. There are things that you can take that can improve your detoxification pathways, help bind toxins, bring them out of your body. It is real. Maybe some of these fad marketed things are bunk, of course, but the fitness industry is freaking ridiculous. I don't pay attention to any of these clowns anymore. They love to straw man and just make these ridiculous claims and pretend that everybody's the zealot, this invisible fake zealot that they erect to straw man and bring down. Oh, if you do keto, you're a keto zealot. You're afraid of carbs. Oh, if you do this, you're this zealot. I don't know, man. Yeah, detoxification, and there's certain things you can do to detoxify that do work. But the master cleanse, I don't know which one that is. I don't know if that's like that liver flush. People get results with these things. If you get results, that's what matters. Straight up. I don't care what the gurus tell you. If what you're doing feels good and it's working, then it works for you. Don't worry about what other people say. But yeah, do some research because there is a lot of bunk stuff out there. There's a lot of fake detoxes out there that aren't really doing much of anything. Hi, hey Tristan, just saw you're on, brother. What's up, Martin? I just talked to Martin today. How's it going, man? Too much screen time today. I got talked to Martin for an hour and a half. He's a client of mine. It was the first time talking to him. It was great. To be honest, I would not have done this hangout had I known that I was going to talk on the computer for so long earlier. It might seem like I enjoy it, and I do like connecting with you people and helping people and doing this, but being in front of the computer all the time, not exactly the best thing for you. It doesn't make you feel too good. But helping people and connecting with you guys from all over the world, this does make me feel good, and that's why I'm doing it. So I'm going strong. Like 3 hours talking on the computer today. It's raining outside here. It's nice and chilly, and I do own a shirt. It's cold. I'm wearing sweatpants and socks even today. Justin, first off, I have to say you are the man. Okay, thank you. I'm a man. Thank you for all your help. You have helped me so much to get on the right path. The question I have is, do you can still eat foods that have artificial sweeteners and or stevia without raising insulin levels? Great question. You absolutely can eat foods that have artificial sweeteners without raising insulin levels. Some of these artificial sweeteners to avoid, though, I would say avoid aspartame, avoid most of the artificial sweeteners I would say avoid, but go for like a natural sweetener. Erythritol, which is a natural sugar alcohol, doesn't cause GI upset in people, doesn't cause blood glucose spikes, and is really good. There's a product called Lakanto, which is a mix of 50%, I think 50% monk fruit extract, which is actually known to lower blood sugar and to help diabetics. Monk fruit extract mixed with erythritol. That's a great sweetener to use. We should actually have that on our website relatively soon. We'll make an announcement when we do. I'm gonna have to talk to some people and get this going so that we can actually, help you guys score some of these things that we would recommend. If you're just starting to adapt to keto, don't be using a bunch of artificial sweeteners. Don't use it for at least like a month or two in. If you're trying to gain or lose body fat, then artificial sweeteners are highly likely to, first of all, they're probably not going to help you. They're going to help you moderate your food intake, and they might trigger cravings just from the sweet taste and all that. Let me see. All right, cool. But yeah, the artificial ones, I don't know. I'm not too into the aspartame. You look into the history of aspartame, the controversy about it. Hey, for me, better safe than sorry. I avoid that stuff. There's been a lot of studies showing that can be really damaging, neurologically damaging. And a lot of people that were getting seizures and stuff that never had seizures before from aspartame. Donald Rumsfeld helped to ram that through back in the 80s. So, yeah, not a big supporter of that. Not a big fan of Captain Rumsfeld. All right. Troy says, I love your simplistic, common sense approach to keto. Thank you, Troy. Got people in Utah saying, what's up? Norte Vista, LOL, the ghetto school, Norte Vista. Oh, man. You survived, though, right, Rico? Rico the Wolf, you survived. I don't even know what Riverside's like anymore, man. I haven't been back there in 15 years. Hope you guys are staying dry, though. You guys had some flooding in Southern California. I saw some footage that was crazy. Dry for now, no more dam activity, fixing up the spillway. That's great. I'm glad that the Oroville Dam, the spillway, is getting taken care of. Okay. Can stevia stall weight loss? Not in and of itself. It's not just going to like stall your weight loss. Eating too much is going to stall weight loss. Stress, lack of sleep, hormonal imbalance, disrupted circadian rhythm. Those are the first things to look at. And of course, like energy balance matters. You're not going to lose body fat if you're eating 400 grams of plate fat. You're just not going to do it. So here we go. If you miss protein macros on a muscle building program, do you completely lose muscle gains or do you just make gains at a lesser rate? Ooh. Context, Andrew. Or not Andrew, Sean. It's context, man. If you miss some protein, I mean, first of all, people think you need way more protein than you actually need. You don't need as much protein as you've been told. I know, and I'm not saying I recommend this low of protein for like everybody, but I know people. Hey, Jessica, Ryder's waking up. He's crawling. Almost 6 month old. He's crawling pretty well right now. He wants to stand up and walk too. It's crazy. So building muscle, protein and muscle building. You don't need as much protein as you think. Protein is probably not as bad as many people made it out to be. Of course, like the studies of mTOR for longevity, IGF levels for cancer and whatnot, you do want to keep these levels low for the goal of longevity, but you don't want to keep them nil. Especially if you're growing or if your goal is to build muscle, you do need sufficient protein. If you miss one meal of protein, no, it's not like you're just going to catabolize your muscle and they're all going to fall off. These are, again, great marketing techniques, make people insecure about how they look, how they feel, make them feel small, show these pictures of these big guys on steroids who are unnaturally muscular, unnaturally lean, unhealthily lean. And you make people feel insecure, you make them feel like, oh, if you don't look like that, you're not going to get chicks, or you're not worthwhile, or your body's weak, or you're small, or you're fat, or whatever. I mean, it's all insecurity programming. And then you slide in the sale, right? The sale is what? The protein powder. You got to have 5 servings of whey protein every single day. Your muscles are going to fall off. Your dick's going to shrink, and nobody's going to kiss you. Or no, you know, I mean, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, don't worry about it. You're missing protein. It's all good. You're probably eating too much protein anyways. If you're looking at the lies you read on like bodybuilding.com, you're listening to bodybuilders and all these insecure people prancing around trying to, you know, justify the cycle. But yeah, if you try to build muscle, you need protein though. But hey, skip a meal now and then, you're just going to be more primed to soak up those amino acids when you do get them. You know, I mean, fasting can increase growth hormone levels and makes you more responsive when you do get that insulin burst from that dose of protein. When you do get that mTOR, it makes you more responsive to it. So yeah, don't worry about it. Don't trip on it. How much of your daily mental capacity do you feel like you devote? Great question. All right. How much of your daily mental capacity do you feel like you devote to thinking about food, your next meal, what it consists of, and how it affects the body? None. Look, when you get into a groove, when you've been doing it for a while, you don't have to think about it. And that's what's nice. We shouldn't be thinking about it all the time. If I'm traveling or something like that, I'll bring some foods with me. Like yesterday, for instance. All right, so yesterday I had to go get my, I'll tell the story in a minute. You guys want to see a tired little guy? What's up? Come here. Come here. What are you doing? What are you doing with yourself? That's just a bright screen, right? Doesn't even see, like, you can't see anything on it. You just see people's questions. Here, let's make sure he's, look, now you see yourself. There's Ryder, 6 months old. Awesome kid. Drinking plenty of booby milk from Mama, who is right here.
Hey.
The master chef, the genius behind the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, and Ariana. What's up, Ari? Want to say hi? Do you have anything to say?
No.
Do you have any advice for people?
No.
What do you think about that guy you saw that didn't have any arms today? What do you think about that? We were in town and Ariana saw a guy who had no arms. His arms were cut off below the elbow. Pretty amazing, right? He was so happy. He was shaking people's hands too with his stubs. He didn't care. No, he still lived life. He was still blessed. He didn't let it slow him down. All right. I'm going to finish telling stories. Blabbering at a screen of words. There's a smile. Bye, buddy. Yeah. All right. People are like, hurry up. Talk about food again. All right. How much daily energy you spend thinking about food? That was the question. Not very much. All right. So yesterday, I had to go register my car. So here in Ecuador, yeah, please. Here in Ecuador, the government is absurd. Everywhere, like every single government is absurd, right? It's just like a way to funnel all kinds of money and funds. And, you know, I mean, yes, at this point, it is necessary. I'm not going to get into the anarchy arguments and everything, but I'm not a big fan of big government. I'm not a big fan of the way things are run in most places. And so anyways, I knew it was probably going to take a long time. I had to go get the revision of my car. I had some electrical issues in the car, which still haven't even gotten resolved. I have to rewire the entire truck. I've got an 82 Blazer, 82 K5 Blazer, square body. It's actually a Jimmy, but everyone just calls it Blazer because the Jimmys were more rare. And the thing is wired terribly. Like the electrical is terrible. So I had a blown tail light that I had to go figure out, and some relays that were tripping out all the time. Whew. So I went to my guy who's really good with these kind of things. We played around and we fixed the light so it at least passed the revision test. Revisión, they call it. So I could go through la revisión, and I went there, I got my revision done, but I knew it was going to take all day. So what I did was I just grabbed 2 cans of sardines and olive oil, which was going to be about 24 grams of protein in each one. I looked on the back, 24 grams of protein in each can. And 14 grams of fat in each can. So that's 30 grams of fat and about 48 grams of protein. That's all I needed to bring with me. Could have brought like an avocado or something, but I knew I wasn't going to be that hungry that day. And my energy, I don't know, I wasn't going to be using a bunch of energy. And because I've been doing keto for a long time, I've been doing this for years now, I don't need food all the time. I don't need to go and search out food every 4 hours, or I'm going to, my blood sugar is going to crash. I'm going to want to bite someone's head off and, gnaw on the nearest person I see. So that's what I brought. Just 2 cans of sardines. Didn't really think about it at all. Ate it in the afternoon when I was waiting for the to get through the bureaucracy, which was ridiculous. Let me just say, I'll tell this story. All right. So life in Ecuador story. So the government in Ecuador is incredibly dysfunctional, just like every single government. Very corrupt as well, but corrupt in a different way. Whereas like in the US, the system is corrupt at the high levels. In Ecuador, it's corrupt at all levels. So, in the US, you're not going to like pay a cop $20 to not give you a ticket. In Ecuador, that the cops see that as their job, to shake people down for bribes all day. Different system. I kind of like that more that way. But anyways, so I go to get the revision. I get in the line. The guy goes to the front of the car, tells me to turn the lights on, goes to the back of the car, tells me to turn the lights on, doesn't even check the number and the chassis, which they did last year and which they normally do. But that's cool because it means I can put a new engine in and nobody will know. Hopefully, which I am going to hopefully do in the next year or two. Drop a new 350 in it, rebuild it, make it nice, fully restore it. That'll be fun little project. But so I get the revision done, and then I go over to the spot that last year only took me 1 or 2 hours. I go to the one line, and the woman's job in this line is to enter in one thing into a computer and then point me to the guy next to her. So I walk to the guy next to her. He enters one thing into a computer and points me over to another line where I have to pay $5.10, and then they enter one thing into a computer and print out a piece of paper and then send me back to the same guy that I just got pointed back the other way. So there's basically 4 people doing the job that one person could do. So then I go over back to this guy, and they tell me I need to get a number. You need to get a ticket. And this ticket will get you into the office where they will finally print your matricula. La matricula, it's basically, I don't know, I mean, it's your car registration. So the license and registration is what they ask you for in the States. So they're going to print my registration in this other building. But you have to get a line. It turns out that people have to wait hours to get into the last part because they take like 20 minutes to sit there and type in each line of information from your matricula, to retype it into a computer and then print it out. So again, an entire office of people doing the job that one individual on one computer with one printer should be doing. Anybody who runs a business could see this. It's absurd. You just know that there's millions of dollars getting funneled through this operation. It's a racket. It's insane. But hey, you got to make those government jobs, right? It's crazy. Anyways, yeah, that's what I did yesterday. But the guy told me I'd have to come back the next day. Said, we can't give you any more tickets. Come back the next day. Luckily, a friend of mine behind me, a guy that I just made friends with, tells me, look, I know the guy who runs this office. Come here. I'll see if I can help you. Brings me into the back. We go to the boss. He asks the boss to get me a ticket. The guy goes back out, forces the employee to give me a ticket. And I got the ticket. And 3 hours later, I got my thing printed and I went home, and I didn't have to go back to Loja again to get the matricula. So there's a little life in Ecuador story. I'm sure that was riveting for you guys. It was actually a really awesome experience though, like meeting this guy right behind me. We had this connection, and then, I mean, it was just complete serendipity, completely lined up perfectly, and allowed me to not have to waste a bunch of time there. And I really appreciated that. And I love when things line up like that. All right. I find that after a few weeks of making the keto transition, I have to put so much mental energy into making sure I'm putting good food into my body that I get exhausted. All right. Yeah. Superman 4105. It sounds like you're just getting that paralysis by analysis. situation going on. Maybe your mind is going nuts. You're putting way too much energy into it, mental energy. Look, find some staple foods that you enjoy that you can get anywhere. You can always get a steak somewhere. You can always get a piece of salmon. You can always get a salad and avocado. Find those staple foods and move forward with them. Check out the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. There's loads of ideas in there. Find staple meals that you enjoy, and there's loads of them in that book. Some of like the basic mackerel dish, that one's really easy. I mean, you don't have to think so much about it once you get into a groove. So find some foods that you like that work for you, and then I don't know, just cycle. Don't worry about it. You're putting too much energy into it, and if it wasn't that, you'd probably be stressing on something else. Am I right? Life's very comfortable now. We need to make up things to stress about. Stress is addictive. Get off the cycle. Get out of the addiction. Kick it. Vigorous Virginia. Hi, Tristan. Looking to move to a country such as Ecuador. Just wondering what monthly expenses look like for you there. It depends where you live. I mean, if you live, there's more expensive areas. I don't know. I mean, monthly expenses depends. Like one person can get by in most Latin American countries, Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, Bolivia. You can get by on... You can live very comfortably, $500 a month. Most individuals, I mean, depending on what you're, I don't know, how cushy do you like life? How cushy do you like your environment? Jessica says it's more than 500. No, for one person? I don't know. Jessica says I'm wrong. She just pops in. She doesn't say anything the whole thing, just like pops in the one time and say I'm wrong. Don't just move somewhere, too. You have to go and visit and stay for like 3 to 6 months and then decide. Loads of people go to Ecuador, think they can live there and think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be Shangri-La. It's going to be so good. You're going to get out of the matrix. Get out of this, get out of that. Run away from this, run away from that. And then they go, they drive themselves nuts in the same way they were driving themselves nuts in the old life. And they go running back to the old comforts because it's not as comfortable in a lot of ways. You can't just go to the mall and buy whatever you want. Electricity goes out. Water goes out. You better speak the language well, too. You better learn Spanish, too. There's a lot of things you got to consider. All righty. There's a lot of comments and a lot of questions, guys. If I skip yours, it's nothing personal. I'm trying not to go, I'm not even going in order. I'm just looking for things that catch the eye. Any research insights into reversing pre-diabetes other than keto, weight loss, exercise? That's a funny question. All right, let me read this again. Any research or insights into reversing pre-diabetes other than the keto / weight loss / exercise? No, of course not. It's a lifestyle thing. What are you looking for? Are you looking for a pill? There's no pill that's going to reverse pre-diabetes and fix your blood sugar. You got to cure the insulin resistance. Why are you insulin resistant? Because you're overweight. Are you overweight because you're insulin resistant? I mean, there's these arguments, the circular logic of that too. But yeah, you lose the body fat, you lose that adipose tissue. You need to get rid of the visceral fat, the pre-diabetes, the insulin resistance. When the visceral fat goes away, meaning the fat that's around your organs, that's around your gut, that's abdominal fat. When that goes away, pre-diabetes, diabetes goes away. The insulin resistance leaves. So, hey, whatever works for you. If it's, you gotta. And first of all, you got to look at your environment, your circadian rhythm. Because if you're not sleeping well, you can be pre-diabetic from one night of poor sleep. You get pre-diabetic blood glucose numbers from one night of poor sleep. So you got to get that right. It's about a whole lifestyle approach. There's no magic button that we can push, unfortunately. Liver has a lot of carbs. No, it doesn't. All right. I'm curious about the stevia because I follow a very clean diet, but I have a major sweet tooth and can't give up the stevia, but my weight loss is stalled. Look at your environment. Look at your circadian rhythm. The stevia is probably not doing it. Hey, you might not be eating enough. You might be starving yourself. You might need to up the protein. You might not be eating enough protein. If you're afraid of protein, that might be the issue right there. Get sufficient protein. Don't eat less than 1 gram per kilogram of your body weight in protein, of your lean body weight. How old are you, mate? If you don't mind me asking, you are surprisingly good at staying young. I'm 30 this year. 30 años, Captain Dickman. Dickman or Dickman? The two N's makes me think man, right? All right. Yeah, 30 years old. 30 years young. All right. Check out Jason Fung. Yeah, videos on intermittent fasting for diabetes and pre-diabetes. Exactly. But it's not, all right, just fasting is not going to cure the diabetes. It's the fat loss. The fasting is the fast track to fat loss, right? Starving yourself of food, you're eating your own body. You're eating up that adipose tissue. You're eating up, you're cleaning up, you're recycling, you're destroying the bad cells in the body, getting that deep autophagy, and that will help with the insulin resistance and pre-diabetes for sure. Do you need to count protein grams in bone broth? Great question. I have no idea how to say your name. My dear friend over in Russia or Czech Republic, wherever you are, I know you're not the enemy. The Russians did it. The Russians are asking, have you ever seen or shook the hand of a Russian? All right, so do we need to count protein grams from bone broth? Bone broth is not a complete protein. It's not a complete amino acid profile. You don't need to count that. My opinion, hey, it's not, if you're fasting or something too, if you're doing intermittent fasting, bone broth is not fasting. It will raise your blood sugar a bit. You're giving yourself, there's lots of glucogenic amino acids in there too. So you can raise your blood glucose with that. Not that that's bad. Blood glucose going up after a meal is normal. It's called glucagon. Look up the function of glucagon. These are hormones that the body needs. Insulin is required by the body. You need insulin. You don't need so much of it. And a lot of it over a long period of time can be very damaging, of course. All right, so let's see what else. Greetings from Sweden. What's up? Rafael Silva says, love the cookbook, must have. Wanted to ask if you have heard of a product called Resolved, supposed to be made out of dirt. No, I don't. Are you talking about Restore? You're talking about Restore, aren't you? In which case, I have heard of it, and I think it could be a really good thing. I've used it, enjoyed it. Of course, didn't give me, dramatic, miraculous results, but some people get incredible results with it. And they've, you can see some stories about kids with ADHD or autism getting like complete reversals of symptoms using this product Restore. I think it can be very good. I often recommend it to clients who are looking to heal their gut. So yeah, I've heard of it, man. Sounds promising to me. Susanna says, can't stomach sauerkraut, but love to drink brine from it. Available in bottles. Oh yeah, sauerkraut juice. Stuff is so good. It seems it is saving my day as I just started keto. Any thoughts? Yeah, that stuff's probably saving your day. It's got a lot of, it's full of electrolytes. Probably got a decent amount of potassium, but it's got a lot of sodium in it and great for the gut. Yeah, sauerkraut juice. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of the kraut juice. Do it. Dean says, what about xylitol sweetener? It's from the birch tree and doesn't spike blood sugar. I'm not a big fan because it can kill dogs. For people, it's fine. Look, but if you got dogs,